think it's working. I don't have long to talk to you guys, but something's coming. Something's been following me. I don't know what it is. This is the only way, if something happens to me, that you guys will get my story. Hey everyone, what's up? My name's Reddit. You can call me Kyle. Hope you enjoyed that little intro. First time doing something like that. I got some good tips from another Redditor, and he just gave an idea of having an introduction for a video to set the mood. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, hey, my name's Kyle. I do music, media, and horror. This is part of my new horror series, where I go on Reddit, read true scary stories, and experience them firsthand alongside you guys, and throw in some comedy along the way to make the stories less scary, because otherwise I might have a panic attack. Without further delay, let's get straight into the video. Law enforcement of Reddit. What was the most scary paranormal call you have responded to? I am a police officer working on an emergency response team on a busy London borough. We took a call to a suspected domestic incident in a block of flats. The informant said that she could hear screaming and sounds of disturbance coming from the flat above her own. Once we arrived, my colleague and I knocked on the door of the flat. The informant said the noise was coming from. I had heard nothing on my way up and certainly couldn't hear any disturbance coming from the address. To be honest, I heard nothing at all. After knocking twice, we had no response. My colleague left me to go downstairs and speak directly to the informant. I stayed by the door. I kicked again, and after some time was answered by an elderly woman. She had clearly been asleep and was alarmed to see me standing outside. I told her that someone had called saying that they could hear a disturbance coming from within her address. I asked her if there was anyone else inside with her. She looked bemused and told me that she lived alone and had been sleeping. I asked her if I could come in to satisfy myself that no one else was there. She invited me in, and I walked into what was a small 2-bedroom flat. The flat was in darkness apart from a hall light and a bedroom lamp. I began searching through the flat. As I approached the final door, the living room, my colleague called me up on the radio, told me that he was on his way and asked if I was okay. I told him everything was fine, wondering why he sounded so flustered. Told me that he was with the informant and could also hear screaming and loud thuds coming from the flat I was in. This is getting spooky. I told him that he must be mistaken, as I was almost done searching the flat, that I heard nothing whatsoever. I have to admit a feeling of unease as I opened the final door. Like all the other rooms, it was in darkness but freezing cold. My breath misted immediately. There was no one in the room and no signs of disturbance. No window was open. I called my colleague and asked him to listen out for my footfall. He said he could hear my feet as I stamped them, but said that the screaming had stopped. This coincided with me opening the door. I left shortly after apologising to the elderly lady for waking her up. I have no rational explanation for this all. My colleague and I left feeling very creeped out. And you left me feeling creeped out too. I wonder what that could have been. To think that you go into the final room, the screaming stops, and your breath turns to mist because it's so cold. In darkness. This is frankly quite terrifying. I don't know what explanation for that could be. Let's move on. Late evening, maybe a decade ago, I ended up running silent to a call with additional units in tow. The caller reported hearing footsteps on the second floor when she was in the kitchen. She lived alone, middle-aged, divorced, no kids, and had no expected company. She's outside across the street when we arrived, obviously unnerved and being calmed by her neighbour. Other units showed up almost as I did and set up a perimeter at the corners of the property. We talked with her, got permission to enter, so we decided we'll announce ourselves and clear the house. 3 of us stack up on the front door, announce and make entry while the other officers are viewing the windows from a distance under concealment. She was in the midst of making a really late dinner, so the house smells really good. Remember how good it smelled? Anyway, we clear the ground level and make our way to the stairs when we hear it. Obviously footsteps on the floors above us. Not a panicky, oh shit, I'm caught footsteps and running to hide or escape. No, these were calm, methodic, and almost pace-like. We announce ourselves again and no response, except the pacing just starts to sort of fade away. Quietly, I make my way up to the steps, adrenaline pumping, concentrating on pie in the corner at the top. I stop a few stairs shy of the corner, breathe and proceed up. The hallway at the top was pitch black, and after successfully clearing the top corner, we make our way down the hallway clearing rooms. Nothing, nobody, not even a critter. Not that any critter would ever make what I describe as human footsteps on hardwood. The initial search, few of the other officers involved also checked every nook and cranny. Bed, closet, rack, hell, even the washer, dryer, appliances and cupboards were thoroughly searched. Nothing was out of order, nobody was hiding anywhere. Eventually we invite the lady back into her residence, reassure her that there was no one in there. We created her noise that maybe wood shrinkage or expansion in the home. Bullshit. There is someone in there or there's something in there. None of the officers outside, and after our initial search, had seen anyone leave the top or bottom floors or windows. The house had no indications that anybody tried to force open a window or door. I stayed behind for about 30 minutes after the other officers cleared the call and waited while her friend showed up to stay the night with her. Went over basic security measures with her, double checked all her windows and doors were not compromised. She fed me with well done lasagna as I waited, and to this day I'm convinced that I interacted with another dimension of life that day. Can I just say that was so sweet that she fed him with lasagna. That is so cute. That's definitely not a person. If they cleared the whole house, there was officers outside making sure that no one was leaving the residence, then that was something that was not human. That is my explanation for that. Let's continue. One time I was alone in the evening in my parents' house. They were away. I heard a scraping, grinding sound from the ground floor bedroom. The door was closed at the time. Almost sounded like glass being cut or maybe a scream. Continued off and on for a few minutes. I was terrified. Ran upstairs and called a nearby friend of mine who was willing to drive into my driveway from which the room window could be seen. I didn't call the police because I was afraid that maybe there was nothing happening and they would think it's silly. There was no trees nearby that would cause this scraping, cutting sound. My friend pulls up, sees nothing and knocks on the door. We go into the room together. There is nothing amiss, no one in the room, no sign of entry. Walking back out of the bedroom, we found the cause of the sound. The concrete foundation of the house had started to shift and causing the tile floor to buckle. We had a good laugh. I thought it was pretty scary when it happened. I'm glad that there's a rational explanation for this one, because imagine you're at night at your parents' house because they're away, so you're by yourself, and you hear what it sounds like someone breaking into your residence. I'm so glad that it had a rational explanation because I'd be shitting myself. Early in my career, the elevators in the oldest section of CIA headquarters, known as the Original Headquarters Building or OHB, were known to have quirks. I think they still do. Quirks as in ghost quirks, paranormal quirks, demon quirks, quirks. Occasionally, the elevator would stop, doors would open up at a floor with no one there, and no one on the elevator had requested that floor. So spooky quirks. I heard secondhand that the thing to do when that happened was say, "Good day, Mr. Director," because I assumed that the doors opened for the ghost of Alan Dull. OHB was his project, as many know, but he was never able to move into his office, having been replaced as CIA director just before it was ready. That's sad. If this story is true, obviously with this series we can't vet what's true and what's not, but if that's true then that's really sad that this ghost goes through its normal day-to-day routine. I'd still be very frightened, but knowing that it could be the director, it'd be less terrifying and more sad. Anyways, that's all for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys enjoy this series, playlist is down in the description. Go binge watch all the videos. If you're stuck at home because of the coronavirus pandemic, now's a great time just to go listen to it in the background, laugh at some of these stories, get scared at these stories, and just have a good time. Also, I hate plugging this, but as a small YouTube channel, I have to do it. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It means so much for a small YouTuber as myself, and it lets me know that you like my content. Anyways, hope you guys are staying safe and well during the coronavirus pandemic. My name's Ryder. You can call me Kyle, and peace.